I think most people overlook this is this new age spiritualism that is becoming prevalent out there. In those stats I showed you, it said after the 90s is when the downturn really started, but after COVID happened and the lockdowns and people are doing more research online and they're not actually physically going into the church, people got exposed to more information. And there's all types of different stuff out there. There's Egyptology, Kemetism, African spiritualism, the metaphysical stuff. There's even some people talking about dark matter. People saying that what black people used to follow was really witchcraft and voodoo and hoodoo, and that we need to come back to all that stuff. And that's not even mentioning, going over to being Buddhist or Hindu and some of the other religions that we already know about, being a Muslim, all of that other stuff. But what I've really seen from a lot of these people that are out there on the internet these days, giving lectures and teaching information like videos 3 hours long, 2 hours long, 4 hours long, a lot of them are opening up the Bible, showing parts of the Bible that tell you that the Bible is not actually true, and saying that no, this verse doesn't really mean this. It actually means this is how you open up your third eye. Or when you read this verse in the Bible, this is actually talking about a metaphysical principle. And there is no God. There is no Christ coming back to save you. That's all there is Christ consciousness. This star seed stuff. It's a whole bunch of people out there that open up your Bible and tell people how the Bible is saying that God isn't real, Christ isn't real, and it's really about something else. It's really just a book with good information that you can use, but none of it is real. All of it is fake and allegory. And when the people that are hearing this information, and it sounds very, very convincing, I have seen and heard a lot of it, and then they come back to you people in the church that are teaching the half-truths, the lies, being hypocrites, and not showing yourselves to be righteous. And this isn't everybody in the church, but when these people come to you after hearing somebody that sounds convincing, telling them that God isn't real and all this other stuff, and they present the same questions to you, and you don't have an answer, or you try to be too deep and you give that super spiritual answer that still doesn't make sense and still doesn't answer the question, you might as well gift wrap that person over to the devil's side. You might as well hand deliver that person away from God. And some of you won't even give an answer. Some of you don't even want to talk to the people about it when they present you these questions. All of these things are leading people further away from God. And the internet is only growing, and those people are only growing in number teaching things like this. And there are so many different avenues to lead people away from God, all different flavors. So there's something that everybody might like to lead them away. And until we get back to the truth and following what God actually told us to do, we will continue to be hand delivering people further away from God. Because what is taught in church is easy to find fallacies in it, because it is not the totality of what God said. It is not the totality of what Christ told us to do. It is taking pieces here and there, gluing them together, and then delivering it at church on Sunday. And also, look at how people just make fun of the Bible, Christ, like they did at the Olympics. They took major shots at the Last Supper, at Christ, at the Olympics. Nothing was done about it. A few people got upset about it, but they know that they can take shots like that because they know nobody about to do nothing. They know nobody's going to tell them nothing. Even Biden's wife got on TV saying how wonderful it was, the event and the opening ceremonies. Had nothing to say about what happened with that. It's just like with a bully. If you don't defend yourself, the bully gonna keep come bullying you. They gonna take your lunch, give you wedgies, throw you in the trash can, whatever the bullies do. They gonna keep doing it when they know you're not gonna defend yourself. And at the church, you were just taught just to be passive and to be all love. And that's why nobody is up there fighting for the respect of the God that you say you follow. And yeah, I know there's some stuff that we can't, that, normal people can't go and do something about on something on that level, but it's not enough of an uproar about this. But it does point to the fact that those people that are up there doing these evil things, they know that Christ has to be real, God has to be real, because why would they go to a concerted effort at this level to try to make fun of that and make a mockery of it if they didn't think there was some validity to it? They would just ignore it, I would think. But why wouldn't they take jabs when the leaders that are in the church, that are especially out there on the forefront, who aren't just teaching big churches full of people, they're also on the internet, broadcasted to thousands, millions. And yet they're constantly known, the pastors of the church, of today's church, constantly known for getting in trouble. You all know about the accusations against T.D. Jakes and how big those were. Tony Evans stepped down from his platform, didn't say what he did. He just said it was an old sin, but yet it was big enough for him to want to step down from his entire church. And while I won't go into it, it's fair to say because this is what's mostly known to be the issue could be something sexual. And I'm just saying that because it's not uncommon or crazy to think that if a pastor thinks he did something wrong and isn't saying something about it, more than likely that's what it is. And it shouldn't be that easy to think something like that about somebody that's supposed to be a leader in the church. You look at Jamal Bryant, and he's pretty much known for just that. And it is too commonplace amongst the leaders of this church under what is supposed to be the most popular religion. And this is how our leaders are acting. And it's no different with our black men. I am a black man, and I wish we had a better image out there in the world. But most of us are looked at as cheating, thugs, leaving households and children unattended, being poor. While there are some of us that have overcome those stereotypes, too many of us are still out there pushing and portraying that image. And if a lot of us are out there doing it, you kind of can't blame people for looking at us like that, but it's just a testament that we need to do something about it, just like we need to do something about these leaders that are in the church. And that points to another issue that is coming from this current day church, and that's the breakdown of the family. Most of the people that I just described in black men and just a lot of the negative things that are going on in the world, most of those people are Christian. Not all of them, but the majority are. And look, this isn't just about you and what you believe and what you want and what you're comfortable with. This is all about the world that we are allowing to go on and carry on before us, because this same world is going to be passed over to our children. This is the world that our children are going to inherit. The people that are allowed to be out there running around saying and doing certain things, they will at some point have some type of influence over our children because they won't always be in our house. You have to be worried when they go out the door and go to school and whose children they're around, talking about how that child may have been raised by the parents. Because if the parents messed up, more than likely they teaching the child something messed up, and that child might have a good influence over your child because they are their peer, and we all know how that goes with you listening to your peers more than you listen to your parents. As parents, the best thing we can do is instill the best things in our children that will fortify them and give them a solid foundation so that when they go out there into the world, they can navigate and know what's right from wrong. But as long as we are participating in everything that's going on, doing what everybody has already done, the chances and probability of them falling into the same traps is going to be high. So again, it's very important that we are working on this world around us and doing what God told us to do to make sure that our children have the best chances to receive and walk into a better world, or at least to have a better set of armor covering them and a stronger sword with them while they go out into that world. If you want to watch another clip like this one, click here. But if you want to watch the whole episode, click here.